Hey everyone, this is Glenn Sanford, and this is the eXpansion podcast where we talk about personal and professional development here at EXP, and and we're focused on really international. However, we're going to be talking a little bit about Puerto Rico, which is a little bit international and a little bit North America. So anyway, it's like this place in the middle, and I'm excited to talk to Lorraine Forés. She's an agent in Puerto Rico, has transitioned into the career of real estate in the last year or so, and has been doing an amazing job. Already got a lot of real estate under her belt in a fairly short period of time. But Lorraine, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, Glenn, good morning. A pleasure to be here. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh well, no, it's great. Now, when did you get licensed in Puerto Rico? When did you hang your license initially with EXP?
Actually, I received my license back in January 2024. So it has been actually a year after I received my license, a week after, I just applied to EXP. So my whole experience has been with EXP and it has been great, it has been amazing. And an amazing school through all this year.
Okay, awesome. Now you come from an engineering background, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is correct. I'm an industrial engineer by degree. I have worked as an industrial engineer for over 22, 23 years in my career, mostly in our corporate world, in the corporate world, like medical devices companies, manufacturing sites. I've done a lot of manufacturing operations, project management, engineering itself, and supply chain with deals a lot with negotiations and customers and suppliers.
Okay. Now, when I think engineer, I think introvert, and very detail oriented. Is that are you? Is that your persona, or you seem like you've got some? You're also outgoing as well. So when how does an engineer
Mhm.
become a real estate agent?
Yeah, it's true. I have to say, yeah, I define myself as an introvert that tries really hard to be an extrovert. But, because I like to be social, I like to talk to people. Whenever I engage in a conversation with somebody, I can just be there, 15, 30 minutes just without just knowing you from before. And engineering, it actually, especially industrial, it's all about processes, establishing processes, simplifying processes, focusing on what is your objective and making sure you make everything simple in order for you to achieve the result. So that going into real estate has been amazing. It actually has made me understand and having metrics, having goals, and establishing my processes for dealing with sellers, dealing with buyers, and even just finding leads. So and then the part of me introvert but liking to talk has been great combination just to engage with clients.
Right. Well, just you're in good company here. I mean, I'm an introvert. Was I could have very well been an engineer. I was more computer science,
Mm-hmm.
and economics was kind of where I spent my more formative years, and I decided to put myself out there, in just from a and got into sales to learn something I was uncomfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously it worked out fairly well for me. Um, so now, when you think about real estate as a process, what do you where do you focus your time? What's your like when you think about a KPI that
Mm-hmm.
you are saying, okay, if I work on this particular thing, everything else goes really well. What's your number one sort of KPI in your business?
For me, in terms of KPI, will be just nurturing or understanding my leads. So that will be just getting a good understanding, and for me, it's kind of like what is and what is not. So understanding what they really like, and making sure I'm putting my focus and my effort in those leads that are actually committed. So I kind of like have a process of understanding if they're ready, if they know what they want, and or if they're willing to be teach, or if they're just, some that are a little bit that I should keep on the back burner to try to work on them later. So KPIs is just making sure I'm working with the right leads and I'm putting all my effort with them.
Now, I assume that lead generation is a part of the process that you've clearly defined. Would that be fair to say? I'm thinking engineering. I'm putting my
Yes.
engineering hat on.
Correct. Lead generation, from where I'm getting all my lead generations, and that's something that I keep also metrics on, if they're from my sphere of influence or, from social media and all that. And I have that also in like buckets and categories. And I have to say, a lot of them have been referrals. So to be honest with you, throughout this first year, so that's what I'm making sure, all of them I am taking the best care of because I am relying on those referrals to continue referring me to them. So that lead generation, that's definitely part of the process.
Now, are these when you referrals? Are these individuals that are in Puerto Rico referring you clients? Are they people from other parts of the U.S. or where are your referrals coming from generally?
Mhm. I have both. I have both from Puerto Rico and from the US. But interestingly enough, I believe the number it's actually between 91%. I think it's closely to 91%, if I'm not mistaken, of my clients and my future leads on my pipeline. They are clients that live on the states that are buying in Puerto Rico. So that's pretty much that's my target. And I have referrals from friends or family that lives on the states, and they know me, and they refer to other uh, friends that live on the state and want to buy, move back to Puerto Rico and want to buy properties in Puerto Rico, and also from some other colleagues here on the island.
Right. Now, are you how are you keeping this clientele or the referring people informed of your journey in real estate? Are you big on social media? Is it personal contacts where you're just working your network? Like, how are you sort of building that sort of understanding that you're in the business?
I use the social media, but I have to tell you the truth. I believe so far my social media I'm using it just like at 20% of what I should be using it. So I still need to tap into that. I do use a lot of emails, chains or emails, to my clients on KB Core. I use the CRM, KB Core. I have everybody there. And I use every week, I send out a couple of emails informing of what I am doing, properties that I have available, or, what's going on the area, things like that.
Okay,
So
so
that's
emails your sort of number one tool for keeping your
correct.
database informed.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah. This year, I have on my plans to work on my social media. So that's one of the goals.
okay. Now, and of course, being a bit of an introvert, this will probably be a little bit more challenging than working inside of email, I suspect.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly how it is, right? Whenever you send out your email, just
Yep.
you don't need to care a lot of what others are looking at. Hmm.
Now, are you using any AI in your business in terms of like drafting emails or materials, or have you approached that at all?
I actually I'm using Gamma AI
Mhm.
in order to draft some of the brochures. That's something that I'm using. I'm creating some kind of like educational brochures or step-by-step guides that I like to send out to people. Something else that I have been done, I think unintentional, but I have been focusing a lot on inheritance. So there's a lot of people, especially that live in the US, that they receive inheritance properties and they don't know what to do with them here on the island. So I have created, I have partnered with two lawyers on the island to guide me, to teach me, and I work with them in several of the cases. And I've created those brochures. And
Okay.
That's one of them using Gamma that I did.
Yeah, Gamma.app, I think, is the web address. So
From
yeah, one, I'm a huge fan of Gamma. Um, and for those of you who aren't familiar with it, you can go to Gamma.app, but you could say, build me a relocation package for San Juan, Puerto Rico. And it will actually do a pretty good job of framing out,
Mhm.
8, 12, 15 slides. I think you can do an 8 slide for free, but if you
Yeah,
want to do more slides,
yeah,
you
pay
pay
for it.
for it.
Mhm.
But it's pretty darn cool, what you can do in a very short period of time, with that. So if you're using like lead funnels, or
Mhm.
you're saying, hey, get a relocation package, or where are you thinking to move, or what are you thinking of doing, I'll build you a presentation. You can kind of do some cool stuff with
Mhm.
that.
Correct. Yeah, yeah, and it looks so professional and it's so easy done, right? So that's one of
Yeah,
my
it's
favorites.
just definitely getting easier. So now what? s- So are you originally from Puerto Rico? Where are you from originally?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I was born and raised in San German. San German is a town on the southwest part of the island. I am actually about 2 hours away from San Juan. So pretty much
Okay,
everybody knows San Juan. So I'm like, I need to get in a car and drive 2 hours on the west side, southwest part.
okay.
Mhm.
And uh, how is, like, when you think about that part of, and is that where you do most of your businesses in your market, or are you doing it like all over Puerto Rico?
I am. I always say to everybody that I'm open to work around all Puerto Rico, and I have done deals, in different areas. But definitely the west side is booming. We have another airport, a small airport in Puerto Rico, which is in Aguadilla. And we have a lot of great beach towns, in Aguadilla, Rincon, Isabela. So there's a lot of clients that are actually looking to move there. And real estate there, it's again, we're booming, is growing like crazy. It has a lot of interest. So I have pretty much stayed on that area. So I think I'm pretty much farming that area of, Aguadilla and Isabela, most more than
Okay.
any.
Yeah, I know I was invited to visit Rincon. I haven't been there yet, but I understand that's
Mhm.
a really cool beach community. I think Jarek Robbins has a place out there. Um, but yeah, interesting.
It is, and it's very popular between the U.S. The U.S. visitors, and it's a surfing it's a surfing capital in Puerto Rico. So Rincon is known for that. So we got a lot of surfers that come to that. We got a lot of surf competitions there. So yeah, it's nice, and I'm
Okay,
taking advantage of that. There's not that many real estate agents on that side, so it's a great place to be.
okay. Now, as a new agent, like what has been the biggest challenges that you've had in the last, I guess it's 13 months in the business. What challenges did you have to overcome becoming a new agent? Obviously, it was probably scary. Your first day on the job, you just show up, you just hang your license. But
Mhm.
what challenges did you have to overcome first, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was one of those that I was lucky enough. I think I got my first deal in a month or months and a half, and I was one of those that I'm like, wow, I have a deal. Now what? Right? What do I do
Right.
now? Right? So, and I was blessed to have a sponsor, which is a great thing from EXP as well. So, my sponsor actually guided me through the process and, helped me through all that. So after I passed that hurdle, I think the biggest thing will be, time management. Even though I am an engineer, right, and I'm focused on being very oriented, uh, I also have that part of me that want to provide service, that I am like, I want to respond to all my clients in a timely manner. I want to get back to them. I want to spend time, getting to know them. So is that balance between uh, time management, time blocking, and making sure I provide a great service to everybody. So I'm still fine tuning that. I have gotten a way lot better with time blocking and respecting my times and getting some messages across saying people, hey, you know what, I'm going to respond to your message by 11 in the morning and at 5 afternoon. So getting a little bit more systematic.
Oh,
But yeah, that has been
now,
one.
now EXP, of course, I think is a, obviously we're a new player in Puerto Rico. I think things are, how is EXP perceived as a brokerage in Puerto Rico? And I know we're evangelizing or bringing things together. Like I don't know how familiar with you are with MyStateMLS, but we're in the process of
Mhm,
launching that
mhm.
and being involved with that. But how has EXP been, and how is EXP seen in Puerto Rico among real estate professionals?
Definitely, I think it's getting out there way more. People are actually talking more about EXP, and again, like as my experience, whenever I was um, finding out, how to become a real estate agent, how to join a company, how to apply for a job, at the beginning, I was thinking that I needed to apply to become a real estate agent and all that. Actually, I found out on the internet podcasts and people talking about EXP, talking about the program, talking about the compensation program, the revenue share. So, and that was about a year ago. Today, I have to tell you that it's double, triple, and we are among, if the, I think one or two the top companies that people talk about, bigger brokers that they talk about on the island. I have to say we are between the two or three at the most.
Okay, so
So
we're definitely getting known.
we're getting there.
Um,
Mhm.
what would you say that if agents from other companies or brokerages, like what's the reputation? Are we considered, you know, maybe it's probably a dangerous question to ask on a podcast, but what's the feedback been when you talk to other agents?
Mm, I don't get bad feedback at all. I actually, whenever I talk to other agents, they just ask more questions about, what's your experience, what do you like? And, they like to know a little bit more about those systems and all the benefits that EXP provides. Like, I do know about my study MLS, but I'm not allowed to share all that now. But, I share about KB Core, I share about, us having resource the rep system that we were using in Puerto Rico and how we actually share another benefits that we have for marketing locally, which is really good. Having some people that actually help us, and definitely that revenue share part is it's a catch. I have to say, talking about that is a catch, and explaining to people about the opportunity they have. It's that's when they get more interested. Like, so tell me about that because not that many companies do that, right?
Right.
So that's definitely a conversation started right there. But I have never heard anything, negative or anything like that. They ask about, what's the fee and all that, but
Right.
no,
Now I
from my
know that
experience.
Puerto Rico is, in some respects, more like international markets in that there hasn't traditionally been MLS. There hasn't traditionally been the
Yeah.
concept of cooperation and having buyers agents. Um,
Mhm.
I know it's only been a year, but have you seen anything change just in the industry in general? Is it moving towards something that's more cooperative, or is it just mainly inside of EXP?
Um, I cannot compare from previous years, but I have to say I have met a fair amount of agents that are cooperative.
Hmm.
If I have to put a percentage, I have to say maybe 85
Okay.
percent are cooperative, and they're willing to share, they're willing to to do these by buyer representation, and we're gonna discussing, what's gonna be, you can bring your clients. Even like yesterday, like I have been sick, and there are some agents like, no problem, I take care of your client, and I will honor our commitments. So I have to say it's really good. Of course, there are some that are not that cooperative, but in my experience, about 80-85%.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry,
any any
if I can add, I can wait to start using more My State MLS, right? I think that's a great resource. That's something that we definitely need to start using more, because for me, I do spend a lot of time like doing searches outside of the regular real estate websites, right? Like, clasificados online, or Facebook Marketplace. So we really need to engage more agents to start using those systems. I truly believe that will be great for all of us, and great solution, especially in terms of providing data.
Right, yeah, no. So one of my big things is especially in international markets outside of North America, is where we've got. I just got back from Egypt, and they're
Mhm.
just launching the Egypt MLS, and it's got in partnership with the government of Egypt. But what we're seeing is that countries and markets where there's a robust MLS, properties sell quicker,
Yeah.
the information's more accurate,
Mhm.
consumers can trust it, agents can trust it, and it makes the business just more professional overall. So I'm super excited about the fact that you guys are on that path, and that should change the the way the business is done over time in Puerto Rico in favor of consumers, rather than having to hunt all over the place to find potentially a house. They can find all the houses
Mhm.
and be able to make a better choice and be better marketed.
Correct. That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
So I'm an
So
advocate for that, and I'm using it, and I will continue doing that.
awesome. So any final thoughts? You've been in the business now a year. If you were to give advice to a brand new agent, based on what you've learned over the last 12 months or 13 months as an agent, what advice would you give to someone thinking about a career in real estate?
My advice for them will be, if you're customer centered, if you like to talk to people, if you're somebody, who cares for your clients and be there for them, just do it. Right? This is great. It is really rewarding. Just make sure you spend some time, making some time blocking, delineating your KPIs, as you were saying, making sure you're not all over the place, making sure, because, we come into the thinking about, oh, I want time flexibility and all that. But if you don't take care of it, you can be working 24/7, right? Especially, persons like me, again, that I focus on answering to my clients. So making sure you have a system, and, be willing to listen to others. Don't feel
Awesome.
like you need to know everything. Just make sure you ask the questions, because there's a lot of good people in this business.
Well, Lorraine, thank you so much for spending time with me and sharing your insights over the last 13 months in this industry called organized real estate. And
Yeah.
congratulations on your success. And how would somebody like reach out to you or find you?
Thank you, Glenn. It was a pleasure again. They can reach me out, Lorraine Forés, on any of the social media, Lorraine Forés on Facebook, or Instagram as well.
Awesome. Good stuff. Well, thanks again. And thanks everyone for listening. And until next time, go out there and make a great business. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. I will. Have a great day.